Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you again from wherever you are in the world, in Bangalore, in India, outside, in South Africa, US, and everywhere. So today we're going again to have a great JS talk show with an amazing invitee that I greet already. I greet you, Mr. Babuka.
Yes, thank you for greeting me and thank you for inviting me.
Amazing. So Mr. Babukar is actually the president of a structure that is called FISA-B, and we want to know more about that because people have been misunderstanding the platform, or probably they are right and some other people are wrong, and also we want to know more about the president, who is actually the person in charge of that. Is there Mr. Babukar, a 28 years old young man, he's doing his last year in Bachelor of Business Administration in Sambram, and now he's here in front of us and he's a single guy, so yeah, and very handsome. So Mr. Babukar, here we are, we want to understand more about the FISA-B. So what is really FISA-B?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Mr. Joseph, for inviting me. It has been a great pleasure coming to this platform. I think you guys are also doing great. So when it comes to FISA-B, it's a federation.
Okay.
And this federation is diversified around India, like in different states, in different cities in India. So basically, the headquarters, you can say, the main chapter is in Bangalore, where you have FISA-B. If you go to other states, you have FISA attached to the starting listing letter of that city or state. You have FISA Chennai, FISA Mysore, FISA Pune, FISA Hyderabad. So basically, this federation was founded in 1996 by the former ICCR director, J.W. Lobo. So the objective or the goal of this was to give the international students the platform that they deserve and that they desire, so that young people can learn about leadership, they can learn about diversity, they can learn about different cultures, which will ultimately broaden their perspective about how the world works and how we are different from one another.
Okay, what is the thing that really pushed you to be the president of that structure?
You know, when you come to a place like Bangalore, you are far from home. You know, there are a lot of things. There are no limit to what you can achieve if you put your mind to it. So when I came to Bangalore in 2017, I didn't know about FISA-B until 2018. The first program I attended that FISA-B organized was in February 2018, where I get to know about FISA-B.
Okay.
By that time, Lionel was the president. So I saw it was a great platform, and as a student, I couldn't imagine a better or more impressive role to handle than to be president of FISA-B.
Okay.
So,
and now, what are the requirements? Because I've received a question from somebody who was like, he wants also to be part of the FISA-B office, but he doesn't really know what it takes for that.
yeah, I gotta tell you, it's very tough because when you have this kind of platform for a lot of international students, almost just more than 58 countries, you have thousands of students who are vying for such kind of thing. But we have a constitution, we also have a listed structure. In FISA-B, there are different segmentation.
Okay.
When you come, you have the executive group or the executive platform, where these are country representatives. They don't have to go through elections, but there are requirements because the maximum representative we can have from countries like Sudan, Afghanistan, who have a lot of students in Bangalore, is 3. So which means ultimately that executive platform can have around 80 to 90, which is difficult to manage.
Yeah.
So we consider a lot of things. When it comes to the office, we segment it into 2.
Okay.
That is the top 6 positions and the other 10 positions, because the whole office structure is 16 positions.
Okay.
So to the requirements or criteria to be in the top 6 positions is, which are the president, the male and female vice president, the general secretary, and the joint general secretary, and the treasurer.
So if I understand, for the vice president, we need to have a male and a female.
Yeah, absolutely, because gender equality and everybody should be represented equally. So that's why we have it, because in FISA-B we represent diversity. So in order to be elected in one of these top 6 positions, one has to get 1 year experience in FISA-B.
Okay.
You cannot come for the first time and be the president or the vice president.
Yes, and
because
that's why
you will not understand the ideals of the organization.
Yeah.
So you have to be there and you have to be committed. You have to show discipline and you have to show leadership qualities, which will absolutely help you to be elected into one of these positions. And when it comes to the other 10 positions, which are the secretarial and assistant secretarial positions, you have the cultural secretary, the academic secretary, the public relations secretary, the sports secretary, and the welfare secretary. Each one of these secretarial positions, they have their assistants, which is the joint. So in order to be elected there, you need to apply on time and be a bona fide student in Bangalore. And if you come to election day and you can impress the people, you can convince them to vote for you, you will be there.
Well, that is really huge, and I can feel like it's really big. So, just want to understand in few words. So, if there is, because we are now in India, so if there is an Indian who is really interested in the platform, can he also like join in the?
Yeah, according to the constitution, Indians are allowed to join because we don't want to limit anyone. But they can only be
in the office,
not in the office, executives.
Okay.
Because the platform is mainly for international students,
Okay.
and when we don't want conflicts in the positions or all these things.
Yeah.
So they can, if they can, leadership is choice, not position. So wherever they are, and they have been great.
Okay. So I want to understand one thing, because you're talking about a lot of stuff, the way that the FISA-B is really a great platform. So one thing that I want to understand now, what are the things for which you can be proud of so far?
FISA-B, whether you are executive member or office bearer, or whether you have been attending FISA-B programs only, everything about diversity, we can always be proud of it. So in FISA-B, the biggest thing we can always be proud of is the diversity. Because after election, you see new faces, not only new faces, but from different background, different language, different representations, and religions, everything. FISA-B sometimes is even more than United Nations at some capacity.
Yeah.
Because when you have, these are young students, these are not world leaders, but young students who can do great things. So every time we organize event, you come, you see what student can organize, how student can be disciplined, how they can follow chain of command, respect one another as leaders. It's just amazing. Yeah. Everything about FISA-B, we are proud of it.
That is great. So I'll jump to a very great question. This is a question that probably many people in front of us are waiting for this question. They're like, Joseph, jump to that question. We want to know that. So I'm jumping there. But see you after this element.
Welcome to Emerald Studio, a part of the Emerald Enterprises or Emerald Group of companies. You are at the right place. Our priority is to make your memories more than a beautiful reality. We offer you a variety of services to simplify your digital life. If you're in need of flyers, logo, standard photo shoot, graduation day photo shoot, birthday photo shoot, video coverage, video editing, creation of media content, training on Photoshop, Premiere Pro, photography, video recording and many more, you are then at the right place. Our quality is the best ever, and our prices are without concurrence. We are the best. Yes, we are the best. Contact us on our official email, emerald1.info@gmail.com, and our other social media like Facebook, by typing Emerald. And on WhatsApp through the number +91 810 581 5372. We will always be ready to serve you. Emerald Studio, the power of vision.
So it is said that FISA-B is trying to replace the universities and the colleges. We see that with the graduation day that you organize. We see that with the certificate that you give to people. You even give them graduation gowns. So, and I've even seen some parents coming all the long way from their countries, landed here for the graduation day for their children, but that was the FISA-B graduation. So can we say that FISA-B is trying to replace the colleges?
First of all, FISA-B graduation is the hallmark of FISA-B. All the time, when you come to that graduation, you see the capacity, you see the resources, the discipline. That's the hallmark of FISA-B. Every time, in every meeting. when it comes to those who believe FISA-B is trying to replace colleges, what they don't understand is we are not competing colleges. We are supplementing them. We are complementing their efforts.
But in which way? Because it's really weird.
Exactly.
No?
Let me get to which way.
Okay.
Because being in colleges, trying to, you know how hard it is to study, especially abroad. Mm-hmm. So when you are studying in these situations, the hard work, the dedication, you can have this one day that you can be proud of. At least FISA-B is giving you a momentous certificate.
But that's a duplication of what the college is already doing.
No, how we supplement the colleges is some of the colleges don't have, you might not have the time to organize this kind of graduation. Okay. And one thing we can all agree on is students, they need this kind of graduation. FISA-B gives them world-class graduation, not by competing colleges. The way you have to understand that we are not competing colleges. Colleges are eager to partner with us in this graduation.
But Mr. President, see, I've been in this city since 2014, and I've seen a lot of stuff happening, and I've seen a lot of students who are no more going to the college because I think to participate to the graduation day of FISA-B, you need to pay, I think, 4,500 or 500 rupees, something like this. So I know students who are no more going to the colleges. And they know that with a 5,000, they will have the graduation. They lie to their parents that, yes, they have succeeded.
See, that's why I said FISA-B is supplementing the efforts of colleges. We have criteria. When it comes to graduation, if you have a certain number of backlogs, you cannot graduate with FISA-B. It doesn't matter who you are. We follow some procedure. But that is, not everyone can come and graduate with us.
But how can you explain this real case? Because, we cannot name people here. We're going to keep the names of people, but we know people who have been in colleges only for first or second semester, but they have really been graduated in FISA-B. So how to explain that?
According to the Constitution, I cannot answer for the past. What I can answer is during my time.
Okay.
I can give you this thing with complete certainty that during this year, if there's any graduation to be held, we are going to make sure this graduation is going to be held for those who achieve something. Okay. We cannot be conducting graduation for the sake of conducting graduation. In that case, then we will be competing colleges and we will be compromising their efforts. So if you have any number of backlogs that we know you cannot possibly clear them, let's say 5 backlogs or something like that, there should be criteria, and there have been criteria. Okay. Maybe everything there is back entrance, which I will not allow in this time. I cannot say for sure there have been people who did not achieve anything and they have been graduated. Because number one, the procedure is you apply online, but you send your document, you go to ICCI office. Okay. If you go there, you take your documents, they verify it. They verify your documents. So in case you have backlogs, they will know. In case you are forging these certificates, they will know. Okay. We have been rejected, especially last year I was in FISA-B. Last year we rejected many people. Okay. Because they didn't have the necessary documents and some of them were trying to forge these documents. So we cannot allow them because we are working with colleges to make sure some of the colleges who don't have the capacity, maybe the auditorium or the time to conduct this kind of graduation, at least they can have FISA-B to count on. FISA-B will do the graduation in a world-class level. And let me tell you, walking on that stage, FISA-B stage, with your gown, receiving your certificate, a momentous certificate, with your families watching, some people taking the video, you can have the video anytime, you can have the photos anytime. Nothing can beat that. It is absolutely incredible. Yeah. And that's what we have been providing to the students.
And I really completely agree with that in that line. When we see the graduation day of FISA-B, it's really amazing. It's really nice to see and really great that we acknowledge. And the real problem is really in the point that we have seen some people lying to their parents, and finally the parents are disappointed afterward because they thought that they really came to the country for the graduation day of their children. But because we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to jump to something else because you're talking about the graduation that you're organizing. So students are paying like 5,000. I think it's 5,000 or 4,500?
4,000.
4,000. Okay, they are paying 4,000. But in the same line, the FISA-B has got a lot of sponsors.
No,
And it seems like they are giving a lot of money. So, what are you doing with the money that the students are paying?
yeah, I think it is a very good question because when it comes to graduation, it is a sensitive thing and it is very, very important. When you are dealing with something as delicate as money, we always have to do it with caution. That is, what we do is we limit the sponsors in graduation. We, in the sense that last year I think we took only one sponsor. So if you look at the magazine across the year, those who have been sponsoring us, those are our partners in graduation. So they don't necessarily mean they're paying for graduation.
Okay.
You are seeing a lot of institutions being featured in the graduation. It is our sponsors across the year.
Okay.
If you look at the magazine, even we put them there, we say our sponsors during the regime. So which means other events like ISD, students are not asked to pay 1 rupee. Okay. A lot of students like this thing on another event like orientation, students are not asked to pay any amount. So during that time, we need sponsors. So those sponsors will have to be in the graduation as partners.
Yes.
So those that people are seeing is not necessarily somebody who is sponsoring the graduation. Okay. So that's why the scale of FISA-B graduation is very standard that we do it always in 5-star hotels. Just for one student to the hotel, you might pay around 3,000 or something. Okay. So if they pay 4,000 and you pay that, and FISA-B is giving you a magazine with your picture, your name, your course printed in it. And FISA-B is also giving you certificates, paper certificate and memento certificates. Okay. All these things cost money. So which means at the end of the day, FISA-B will absolutely exhaust the 4,000 they are paying.
And we're coming to this, you're saying that you're giving certificate to the students. I've seen people back in country using those certificates to go and work.
No. What you gotta understand is we are giving memento certificates. Yeah. You understand? There's a difference between degree and these memento certificates. During this talk show, you can even give me certificate. That will not mean anything.
No, because it's linked to graduation. No, this is what we're speaking about, the application.
Absolutely. Some people, people always take things in a different direction. But what I can tell you is, we make sure the certificate we give you, you cannot use it to earn job. Okay. You can use it to at least have a sense of fulfillment. Okay. That is memento certificate. Some of them will take it, they will place it somewhere where you can always see and you remember the hard work. Yeah. Some people, they are here for 2 years course, 3 years, sometimes 7 years. Giving them that at least will give them a sense of fulfillment, but not a degree. We don't give degree, we give memento certificate, which I think everybody can do as an organization.
So we're jumping to the end of the show. So we're going to ask you another question. We've seen that we were having the lockdown, and I've seen an announcement saying that the FISA-B was actually giving some food to people. You know, we're not telling only about the negative side of stuff. We're talking also about the positive. So we just want to understand what brought you to that point and how did you manage to help people with this basic necessity?
Yeah, you know, FISA-B is an organization that is committed to the welfare of international students. So in doing so, they at least have to be with students every step of the way, during hard times and during joyous times. So because this pandemic has been something extraordinary and very difficult for almost all of us, even governments, so FISA-B couldn't help but at least contribute. So the first thing we did is, we started with the office bearers. They contributed what they could contribute, even though they are students, they contributed certain amount. So we get down to the executive platform, they also contributed. It was not compulsory, but it was giving out to the society and the community. What we collected, we also make sure the welfare team were working tirelessly to deliver it to the doorstep of students. So whoever was in need, you can contact us because the poster was in social media. But one thing was there, we only post the poster there so that they can contact us if they are in need or if they want to donate. So those that we distribute food stuff, we didn't publish no single person. That's why people just saw the poster. They don't know what have been happening. But I gotta tell you, we reach out to a lot of students, and most of them were so grateful. And I think it is a good thing that we can always do.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. I was really impressed and I really loved it. So we are actually moving to the end of our show. and you have seen that Mr. Babukar is really answering to all the questions that we are asking. You probably have another question that have not been asked in the show. You can still put it on the comment section. I think we'll come back to answer to these questions. And if things are not clear, you want Mr. Babukar back on the screen, we're going to call him back. And I think this year we're going to, to the graduation also to see if everything that he has said is really true. So Mr. Babukar, we're moving to the end of it. So what is the last thing that you want to tell people, like the last thing that you want people to remember about you, about FISA-B?
Yeah, I think in FISA-B, since I came as the president, and even when I was executive member, there's always two challenges that we face. These are not problems that one president or one term you can solve it, but these are challenges that every single person can face. But it is a good feeling always when we face that challenge. That is when you come to FISA-B election, most of the time you meet new people. New people are elected. You have to get a new team. So I call it the takeoff and landing rule. These are the challenges. You have to keep that team together as president, even as FISA-B member, making sure everybody can look at the next person and see themselves in those people, making sure they can call each other brothers and sisters, making sure they can have a personal relationship, because it will, at the end of the day, help us to do something, because without the family atmosphere, nothing can be achieved. And the other challenge we face in FISA-B is landing. When you come to the end of your regime, you already build that family atmosphere. You see each other as families.
So you cannot represent as a president?
No, the other thing is, you have to be cautious in handing over to the next thing. But as democracy can be lousy and difficult sometimes. Sometimes, you cannot decide who to hand over to.
No, I mean, but you can present yourself again, like if you want to become again president for the next year, for example. Is it possible?
Most of the members will come back, but as personally, I think it is always very good to give other people a chance, because we are young leaders. You don't have to take everything, even though you can. So I think giving other people a chance also is great.
Yes, that was really great. We've been really happy to have Mr. Babukar responding to our invitation. And if you want to get in contact with the FISA-B and you're just knowing them through this live that you're watching, you can still contact us so that we can put you in contact with them. So for us, we're leaving you here, and my name is Joseph Ngala. See you next time. I love you.